So this is Golden Heroes. Now, some debate about the episode title. I'm going to go with episode 9. Not 100% sure, but we're going to go with episode 9. So this is Strikeback Part 2. I'm going to say 2.5 maybe. So where we left things, again, we're slightly vague on this. However, you had, if you recall, back in the present day of 1984, you had been following your capture of the Eagle's Nest. Literally moments later, you had been approached by a time-traveling computer in the form of a cartoon mouse calling itself Benji, who had explained that your assistance was needed to travel back in time to the 19th century to investigate the machinations of a machine intelligence that had been sent back in time to change events which had culminated in the year 8457 AD, at which point humanity was fighting for its survival against machines. And so you'd been asked to take on this mission because the time span was so great that anyone traveling back in time from that far distant future would be essentially killed. So because by your reckoning the time jump is only 100 years, give or take, about less than 100 years, you'd been asked to assist, and you'd cheerfully agreed to go along with it, and had travel back in time with the assistance of Benji, who's now transformed himself, if you recall, into the form of a small child, of a young Victorian child. And you had arrived in a forest in Austria, outside Vienna, where you had interceded in a fight between an individual and a group. And after you had assisted him in routing these individuals, you had learned that he was in fact the legendary detective Sherlock Holmes, who had been sent to Vienna at the request of Dr. Sigmund Freud, who was a friend of Holmes's and one of Freud's patients, who was a physicist from the Vienna Institute, had disappeared without trace. And Holmes had explained to you that other scientists have also gone missing. And so Holmes had found a Illuminati medallion, and having traced the medallion by finding the jeweler who made it, he had been ambushed by a group of thugs who you realise are part of the Illuminati. And for those who can't remember, the Illuminati basically are a sort of secret society who are seeking world control. And in this universe, certainly, I mean, in obviously the Illuminati is a thing that's known in the real world, but in this world in particular, the Illuminati are thought to have agents in most areas of government and in all the sort of institutions, including the financial institutions. And so it seems as if this alien machine has something to do with the Illuminati. The fact that, say, Holmes has been attacked. So you basically interrogated some of the captured agents, and you'd learned that the local Illuminati headquarters was in Vienna, in a building called Transylvanian Toys, which is an import company, 3-story building in Vienna. And you'd gone to the building to essentially try and gain access to see what you could learn. So if you remember, you'd arrived at the building, you'd gone in, you'd been met by an elderly receptionist who, after some toing and froing, you'd essentially beaten up. And I mean, she was armed, to be fair. In your defence, she was. I seem to remember she was carrying a derringer or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She was up for a fight, wasn't she?
She was. So what you'd done is you'd dealt with her, and you then explored a bit of the building, Now, if you're on, I don't know if you're on the VTT. Are you on any of you on the VTT? Oh, you are, yeah.
Yeah, we
so
are.
as you can see, I've made up some actual maps this time. So as you can see, this is the ground floor. So basically, area 1 is the reception area. So there's the reception desk, and I think you'd basically, if I remember rightly, you'd basically explored the rest of the building. That sounds like that's oh, Kerrin's joined us. Hi, Kerrin.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for joining us. I'm afraid Kevin won't be joining us tonight. A family situation, but we've only just got started. I'm just recapping anyway. So
Okay, cool.
great. Appreciate you jumping in. And obviously, if you need to jump out again, that's fine. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyway, so you'd if I remember, and again, I'm glad you popped up when you did, because your memory is probably better than mine. But so as I recall, you'd explored essentially these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the ground floor of Transylvanian Toys, and I think you'd been into this. You'd also found this, gone into this office number 7 here, which. So had you? I seem to remember you'd. This guy had actually. You dealt with this guy had come at you with a weapon, and you'd also found this secret room here. So number 8, I think you'd found, and that was like a guard room essentially.
That's right. Yeah.
I seem to remember you taking out the 2 guards who were in there. And I just can't remember whether you'd been into room number 7, but I'm assuming you probably had, because I've got you here as if you're going up the stairs. So I think what we'll say is, why don't we say that you've not? But let's do room number 7 again.
I don't think we did room number 7. I remember the guard room, and I don't remember any other room after that.
I don't remember any other room either.
Perfect.
I think I recall briefly asking why we were going up or down if we hadn't checked everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's we're going to retcon it. So you've been in this guard room, and you basically had dealt with, there was 2 guards / thugs in that room, and you'd sorted them out pretty quick, made light work of them. Now, so you'd entered this room, you'd found, I think what happened is you'd searched the reception area, and I think you'd found this secret door here.
Mm-hmm.
If that rings a bell. So there's the secret door. So you're in this room. So this room is a fairly, I think it had like a table, a couple of chairs in it. There is a window, like a high window to the outside.
Yeah.
But obviously these guys were just in there, if needed. And so, okay. So you're in the room, and what would you like to do?
There was like a silent alarm light, wasn't there, Steve? Is that right?
That was it. Yeah, there was a light bulb, like one of those. Exactly right. Well done. See, Kerrin was paying attention, even if I wasn't. There was a. You're right. There was like a bulb set in the wall, which you suspect, as you say, was a silent alarm. So, presumably, receptionist or whoever could set that alarm off, and it would alert these guys. And as you say, there's like a secret door, a concealed door into this area. And that's about all that's in there. Like I say, there's probably a flask of coffee or something on the table, because they presumably sit in this room for quite a stretch until they're needed. But there's no papers, there's no there's no books or anything, unless that one of them was reading it. Let's say reading a book perhaps, but you assume they've just been sat in there probably smoking. Let's say I would imagine there's probably cigarettes,
ashtray.
An ashtray and cigarettes and that. And
Wouldn't it be
clearly
a pipe?
they are there if needed. But a quick search of the room doesn't reveal anything else. However, what you do see is I'll assume it's the north. In the north wall, you can see that there is another secret door. It's not secret to you, but it's presumably it's concealed in the same way, or it's the same type of door that you entered the room through.
Yeah.
And so one would assume that's another secret door leading into area number 7.
Yeah.
So I guess your choices are, you can either go back out into the reception area through the door you entered, or you can try going through this other door. It's worth noting that these 2 guys had They were carrying automatic pistols, which I think we established was the Mauser, didn't we? I'm pretty sure Kevin assured me that the Mauser was in production. I think it was 1896 the Mauser came into production. So there are a couple of weapons which you could take if you wish. I don't know whether any of you feel like you want to or you need to take weapons, but they are there if you feel the need.
Not much
I'm
stuff.
I'll grab one.
Steve? Are they wearing uniforms, or are they
Hello?
are they wearing their sort of?
Have I lost you? Oh my god!
Hello, can you hear us? Can
That's
you hear me?
interesting.
Can you hear
Can
anyone?
Yeah.
Can anyone
Hello,
hear?
anyone hear me?
I can hear everyone.
I can hear everyone. Everyone's talking at the same time.
Hello. Sorry, I completely lost you there for a minute. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I could hear you
Yeah,
the
I
whole
can-
time.
Okay, cool. I can hear you. I don't know what happened there. Sorry. So, So sorry. I obviously missed what your response was. So, what is it you would like to do?
I will grab a weapon.
Perfect. So you can pick up one of these. These they look. I don't know if you're familiar with the Mauser, but it's like it's basically the weapon that Han Solo's blaster pistol was based on.
Oh,
So
right.
it's quite a chunky firearm, but it has it's a semi-automatic. So it has a magazine hanging down the bottom. Quite a significant firearm, to be honest. So you can certainly pick one of those up.
Awesome.
And as I say, you've got the option of basically you've got two areas that you can proceed to, because as I say, you have clearly the door you've entered through, and there is another door in this north wall here.
Steve, can I listen at the door?
You certainly
Yeah,
can. So let's have a look.
Actually, can I quickly inspect the door we came through and see if I reckon it's soundproof or not? Because there's no point in listening at a soundproof door.
100%. Okay, so you have a quick look at it, and no, you don't think it is soundproof because it's essentially it's a wooden panel.
Okay, cool.
There's no sign of any soundproofing. Normally, that would be indicated by obviously,
Egg boxes.
rubber or something put across it. But no, basically if you imagine that the wall is wall thickness and the door is probably half the thickness, because it obviously slides into a recess.
Yeah.
And this door seems to be the same. So yes, you can certainly listen at the door. And listening at the door to the north, you don't hear you can hear what sounds like somebody moving about. So you can hear, there's certainly sounds like there's somebody in the room, but you cannot. There doesn't seem to be any conversation. So you assume that there's probably just somebody in the room. But it sounds like he's on his own, or if he's not, or he or she is not in a conversation with anybody. They're just moving their chair about, So you can hear sort of scuffing noises and so on, but you're not hearing any conversation at all.
Sorry, guys, I'm just going to have to duck out for a minute. Rooster's kicking off, so I will be back in a second.
Yep.
Let's just kick this door down.
I'm gonna grab some extra ammunition as well as the guns if I can see any ammo clips.
What's Sherlock doing?
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's that's a good shout. Just give me a let's see. Just roll me a D10, please.
I hope it's good, Sherlock. You got a 1.
No, that's good. So you find ammunition. Oh, sorry. Was this you kicking the door down, Jason? Sorry. Or were you looking for ammunition?
Well, I was asking what Sherlock was doing. I thought it was some sort of random Sherlock response.
Oh,
generation.
I see. I was
looking for ammunition. Base drives looking for ammunition.
So if you roll a D10 for the ammunition first of all.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so you find one extra clip basically tucked in the pocket of one of the two guys that you took out. And Holmes is I'm glad so Holmes has been spending his time, he's sort of he's basically looking at these guys. And obviously fisticuffs is not really his area of expertise. But he's pulls out his microscope, magnifying glass, and he's investigating the. You see that he's looking at the fingertips of one of the two men. This chap is bald-headed with a quite impressive mustache, and he pulls his magnifying glass out, and he's looking at the guy's fingertips, and he says, "Interesting." He says, "Indeed, this I have encountered. This gentleman is responsible for distributing falsified currency in London from approximately 18 months ago. It was a case that I was involved in. But you can see here the traces of the traces of the particular ink residue used in the production of those notes is an almost perfect match. I once wrote a monograph on the subject, but and he seems to be busying himself with investigating."
Okay, right. That's all right. No worries, Sherlock. I thought you were asking us to cut his fingers off, but that's fine. Since I
ask you to do that.
Since I am Captain Sonar,
yeah.
Why don't I listen at the door?
You can do that. Let's have a little look. So, okay. So, why don't you give me a... Do you know what you could do? Here's something you could do. I reckon you could probably modify, because your equipment is all sound based, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got that. Like I can see in the dark, and also
I think it would be quite fun if you were to. I reckon you could actually modify your fist amplifier to actually amplify sound waves. So
let's do that.
So I don't. Yeah, you don't need to roll for it because again, this game doesn't. In Golden Heroes, you don't have to. You're not really rolling to achieve things. You're rolling to
beat people up,
things, essentially, to beat people up. But I think it makes total sense because of your background. Because obviously you're a technical guy, brilliant scientist, mechanical, which means you have what that basically means is that you're extremely gifted in your field. And so I say if you say, well, give me a minute, and you sort of pull out a you have a small toolkit, or you probably have a multi-tool.
I've got a sonic screwdriver.
Exactly. In one of your gauntlets, and you fiddle with your. I say fiddle. You kind of adjust your amplifier, and then you can actually, if you direct the amplifier at the wall, then you can enhance the sound from the other side. Now, the only downside of this is it will take you around to switch it back. So if you want to use your amplifier as a weapon again, then you will have to obviously adjust it back. But again, it'll just take a round to do that. But again, so you point this at the wall, and all you're picking up is you're hearing the sounds of somebody breathing. So there is clearly somebody in the room. Sounds like a male because he's you can hear this. It's quite a gruff breathing, so you suspect it's male, not female. And again, as you'd thought from listening at the wall, you can hear him. He's sort of shuffling in his seat, so you can pick up the sort of creaking and scratching of a chair where he's obviously. No. You suspect he's probably just working at a desk and he's just shuffling around. But no indication that there's anybody else in the room.
You can look at it after school.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I reckon we should just rush him.
Yeah, do we think that we can silently slide this door open? Maybe he might even have his back to us, or if his head's down and he's working at a table, he might not even notice us come in. And then we could survey the area before getting the jump on him. Or are we leaving him?
It's up to you. I mean, you suspect that the door does open quietly because obviously these are meant to be...
secret doors.
They're meant to be secret doors. So...
It hasn't got a little shot bell at the top and ding, 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 ding every time you open it.
No. So it will open quietly, but again, obviously you can see from the plan there that you're sort of right on him. But again, there is an element of surprise. I mean, he will... whoever's in that room is going to be quite surprised when this door slides up. you four
Like,
come
what?
wandering out. So certainly, if he is a threat, and I'm not saying he is, but if he is a threat, I would certainly say that you would get a round on him of surprise, or at least you get a couple of frames of surprise before he would be able to react.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Of course, there is another option here as well, which would be remiss of me if I didn't point it out. Of course, is that if you this is a secret door, but you assume there's a normal entrance to the office, and
That's
obviously
true.
I know your characters can't see the map, but you can see on the map that there is actually a if you go from the reception room, then there is a short hallway here, and there is a door. So you assume that there is an actual door into this room. It's unlikely that this is the only entrance, but up to you whether you want to go to the trouble of sending somebody round there to cause a distraction, or whether you just want to burst in through the door.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go through the because yeah, I say we just burst through the door.
Let's go.
Brilliant. Okay, so you it doesn't take any strength to move this door at all. It's as I said, it sort of slides into a recess. So you kind of prepare yourselves, and you slide the door, and again it moves silently. But as soon as the door opens, you take in the fact that there is a man sitting at that desk. He's a heavy-set man, wearing looks like quite an expensive suit, tweed suit, business suit, and again balding, big mutton chops, mustache, and he as expected, he freezes for a moment as you come through the door. He sort of literally goes, doesn't quite know what he's looking at, and then you see that he's lunging for his desk. So he's reaching for the desk. So I'm going to give you 2 frames. You've all got 2 frames to act, if you wish to do so.
Could I, Steve,
Yep.
use my? I've got like a wind power with my cricket bat. Can I waft the desk away from him?
Hell yeah, you can. 100%. And again, I'm not going to get. You don't need to make an attack roll for that because you're using a power. It takes up your 2 frames, but you basically wield your cricket bat and you swipe it in such a way that a great gust of wind essentially slams the desk away from him, and it basically slams into that far. So if you imagine, it slides across the room to that far wall, and given that it's it's obviously a quite heavy wooden desk, it's no mean feat. So it ends up here. As the desk slides away from him, he kind of leaps backwards out of his chair in shock. And you can see that attached under the desk there is another machine pistol in a concealed. There's like a holster which is bolted under the desk.
Oh, okay.
And you're not sure whether he was reaching for that or something else, but you assume he was probably reaching for that.
Yeah.
But the desk is now out of his reach. So that's that. You 2 guys have both got an action, 2 frames. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah Jane. What were you going to do?
Sorry, I was going to say at the same time as that's happening, as the desk is being blasted away, I think Face Strike could sort of jump for the man sitting down to sort of physically get in between him and it. But if so she'd sort of lunge towards him.
Cool, you can do that.
Probably push his chair over backwards.
No, that's cool. You've got
gymnastic-y.
Yeah, you've got gymnastics, and again, because you're not. So if I'm right in what you're saying, you're not actually attacking him. You're just going to basically sort of lunge across the room and just, like you say, get in between him and the desks to prevent him.
Yeah.
I guess you could also probably wield your claws at him, because I remember I always forget that you've got claws built into your costume.
It's not quite as impressive as being a dragon, is it? But yeah, I do.
Well, we all have our part to play. And,
or a windy cricket bat.
Yeah, but a windy cricket bat. I like that. But yeah, you can. So okay, so fine. So you don't need to make a roll, because again, you're well, I'll tell you what. Roll me a d20. As long as you don't roll a 20, then
120
Again,
coming
I
up.
suppose it's
Oh, there
always
we go.
worth having a bit of it. There you go, perfect. So you you lunge across. You basically flip across the room between him and the desk, and you kind of come to rest with your claws kind of under his chin, making it, and he's kind of cursing in what was basically Austrian.
Mhm.
Actually, did we establish last time that
Can any of us speak
Benji
Austrian?
could actually translate for you? I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah, he's
Oh, yes.
telepathically translating everything to us, so we
Perfect.
just
So-
get it with a slight delay.
So I'm just to be clear, I am assuming that Benji is still with you, because if you remember, you're sort of carrying him around because although he looks like a Victorian child, he can't move. He's not like a walking robot. But yeah, I'm sort of assuming that he's with you, or he's in the other room, but you're carrying him around with you.
Yep.
So yeah, so you're still you're still hearing his thoughts. So yes, he's basically coming up with some fruity curses in what you assume is Austrian.
And is Benji bleeping them?
Is he censoring them? Yeah, that'd be fun. No, I mean, you get the gist. He's not very happy, but again, he gets the idea. Once you pop once you've got your claws under his chin, I think he has obviously realised that it's in his best interest not to be moving. So, Captain Sonar, is there anything you want to do whilst this is going on, or you're happy to hold off on any action for now?
I'm happy to just stand there and
Look intimidating.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, that's good. You can hold your action anyway, because again, it may or may not be necessary. Right. So he sort of reluctantly puts his hands up, and as you have a look around the room, as I say, the desk is over against that far wall. You can see that there also seems to be there's also a switch under the desk, which you suspect might be linked to the alarm buzzer in the room you've just come from.
Yeah.
He's as I say, he's and he's kind of he's calmed down a little bit again, having Face Strike's blades kind of under his throat as taught him to calm down a bit. So if you have a look, you look around the room, and as you're kind of looking around, you see that his hand, Captain Sonar, you see that his hand keeps going to his watch chain. He's wearing, as I said, a tweed business suit, and he's wearing a waistcoat which he's quite stuffed into, but he also has a watch chain, which obviously was the thing at the time. And you notice that although he's not resisting, his hand keeps going for that. It keeps moving his hand towards the watch chain, as if there's something there that he's worried about you finding.
Well, let's. While she's restraining him, I will go up and take the watch away for inspection.
Okay, so you pull out the watch chain, and he kind of goes, curses again, and you see that on the watch chain there are some keys. It's not clear what these keys are for, but there are a set of keys which he seemed to be very concerned about you getting hold of. So I assume you'll pop them somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Cool. So what would you like to do with this guy? I mean, basically, you can interrogate him if you wish, or you can restrain him somehow and carry on exploring.
Do we want to ask him what the keys are for?
Well, he just sort of sullenly refuses to answer. Now, what you can do is we can do an ego attack here, where you basically are trying to intimidate. So which one of you wants to have a go at him first? Hide is quite intimidating, but
yeah, okay, I'll give it a go.
Right. So the way this works is I'm going to get you to roll a d20 for me first of all. So just roll a straight d20.
Yep.
That's an 11. Now you've got an ego of 8.
Okay.
Which is 19.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to roll a d20. Now because he's an NPC, he does not have stats, but I'm going to use the stats of the generic Illuminati geezer. Right? Okay. So actually, he's just going to roll a straight d20. So, and if he beats you, then he resists.
Resist.
If he doesn't, so chances are he's not going to beat you because you rolled 18, wasn't it?
19, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so he might look all bluster and he's all the curse words, but he very soon coughs up once you're leaning over him with your particularly with if as he's seen what you've done with your cricket bat, and also the fact that Face Strike has as I say had her claws tucked under his chin. So he very quickly babbles to you that the keys will give you access to upper floors. There's a staircase gate protecting the protecting the upper floors, and there's also a safe on one of the upper floors again, which he says this is the key. So the keys basically give you access to the stairwell and also to the safe. And there are also some locked rooms on the upper floors, which the keys give. So basically, the keys will give you access to all the locked rooms in the building.
Okay, nice.
Cool. So he sort of babbles this out to you. Clearly, you're going to have to do something with him. Presumably, if you don't restrain him in some way, or
Okay, I've got this.
Okay.
I whip out my freeze cannon, and I just say, "Chill out," and I'm gonna freeze him from the ankles up until his waist with his hands by his waist. So he's like half
perfect. Okay, fine. So yeah, you don't. Again, I'm not going to get you to roll for that. He's not resisting or dodging or anything. Okay, so you whip out the freeze cannon, and sure enough, his lower body is very quickly encased in ice. Might also be worth possibly gagging him with something. He's got a handkerchief which you can easily.
I'm gonna go and get one of the socks from the security guards in the other room and shove it in his mouth.
Nice.
Sorry if I missed anything important. I was dealing with Rufus, but I'm back now.
No problem. No. All you missed was
we've got the keys to all the rooms upstairs.
Okay, cool. And he's got a sock in his mouth. I heard he's got a sock in his mouth.
About to stuff a smelly sock in the mouth of the.
Lovely.
So you push the sock in his mouth, and he visibly goes a funny colour. It's like whoa, because I'm sure it doesn't taste very nice, but he certainly is not going anywhere. So okay, so you have a couple of options here. You can either come back out into room 8, or you have this main door. But if you remember the stairwell, so this stairwell is protected by the gate, which you do have a key to now. So you can investigate upper floors if you wish. I think if I remember rightly, you did all the rooms on the ground floor. Did you go into the warehouse? Can anyone remember?
No.
I thought we only did the reception. Did we not?
I thought,
and then there was a small room and a corridor behind or something.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So yeah, that's fine. So you can investigate the rest of this floor. Yeah. So up to you how you want to play it. So again, you're in the room here. He's restrained. Receptionist is unconscious. These guys are unconscious. So at the moment, you're clear to do as you wish to do. So yeah, tell me where you'd like to go.
I think we should explore everything. I've got to loot all the containers.
Yeah, we'll finish off on this floor before heading up then. I feel like our quarry is probably upstairs, but let's tick all the boxes before
do you want to just you can just move yourselves, maybe if you move yourself and just plop yourself where you want to investigate first, and we'll do it that way.
Sure thing. So I guess have a quick listen at the door and then a sneaky peek out before heading out through this door.
It's a wood panelled little short hallway. No other doors in that hallway. Nobody else about, and no sounds of other than you can hear sort of. So the building is not completely quiet. You can hear sounds there's obviously other people in the building, so you can hear sounds in the distance. Again, if Captain Sonar is waving his receptor about, I mean, you can just hear sounds of general conversation. But again, there's nothing unusual about it. It's just again, so far, apart from the fact that this guy's, the thing with the machine guns and the hidden guards, on the face of it, the building is what it appears to be. So now I'm Sherlock Holmes is tagging along with you. To be honest, the way this scenario is written, he's a bit of a fifth wheel. But obviously, if you can think of a use for him, if you want him to get, obviously you guys are the stars of the show.
Yeah.
But if you want him to do anything, then just feel free to use him. He does have abilities. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let me just summarise.
Do you know, I've had a mental blink. What happened to the guy that I was threatening?
I froze him and shoved a sock in his mouth.
Captain Sonar froze him with the freeze cannon.
Okay, so he's not going anywhere, is he?
He's not going anywhere.
Excellent.
So just So I'm just going to quickly tell you what Sherlock Holmes has got, so that if it's something that would be useful to you. So basically, he has got essentially, he's basically a skill monkey. So he's got disguise, locksmithing, escapology, and stealth are his skills. All of which would be obviously useful. He's also got one grade of martial arts. So he is useful in a fight. And he's obviously got an advantageous background of scientist specialising in criminology and pathology. So those are his skill sets. Now, obviously, so far, again, we've not really come across anything that he would excel in. So again, he's there if you want to use him. But other than that,
well, we've got all the keys now, haven't we? So
yeah, right. Okay, so Hyde, you're in the lead. So where would you?
I give a quick look up and down the corridor.
All clear.
I see, I guess, 3 doors to my left and 3 to my right, but I know that one is the reception area.
That's the reception
area. I'll probably head down and check in on number 2 first of all. Okay,
so it's just an office door. There's no window or anything in it. And it just says let's say it just says Mallen Schiffer, which I'm going to pretend is mailroom Austrian, which I'm sure it isn't, but I just made that up. But anyway. Again, Benji isn't translating writing.
Yep.
But again, you listen at the door. Do you want to have a look inside?
I'll have a peek inside. Yep.
Okay, so you go in. You open the door, and inside there is clearly a mail. It's a mail room, as in a post room. So there are cubby holes. There's there's a window on the far wall. Again, as all these windows, they're quite room. So you can see daylight through them, but you can't see out into the street. And there is a long bench which has got wooden compartmented shelves where obviously incoming mail is sorted to be distributed throughout the building. So there are you can see there are pieces of mail in there. There is a desk with an office chair. There's a mug, a china cup, but there's nobody in the room. So suggesting that if there's a male person, they're probably doing their rounds around the building. But other than that, nothing untoward. As I say, just pretty straightforward. All looks pretty normal for an office building.
Okay. I wouldn't have any reason to search for clues. Would I look through the mail and see if there's no reason to do that sort of?
Not really. Again, you're welcome to do so, but I'll just tell you that there isn't anything. I mean, it all seems the only thing it tells you is that it reinforces the illusion that that they're obviously going to great pains to. Well, so this is either a legitimate business, and for some reason the Illuminati are using it as a front, or it's the Illuminati are going to great pains to make it look that way. Because again. All of the mail seems to be incoming. It's either to do with financials or it's orders, I would assume, because it's a toy factory. So all looks pretty legit to you. So you spend a couple of minutes having a little poke through, but there's nothing jumps out at you.
Okay, cool.
I'll do room number 3 while he's doing that.
Yep.
Okay. So you go. So again, go to the door. There's nothing on this door. And if you are you going to open it?
Yeah, I'm right in there.
So you go inside, and you are greeted by the sight of two. There's two chaps sitting. This looks like it's a smoking room, basically. As you walk into the room, your kind of nostrils are assailed by what you assume is pipe smoke, because there are two chaps just sitting in armchairs with and they're quite tatty armchairs. So they're not posh by any stretch, but they're quite tatty. But these two guys are just sitting there with each are puffing away. One's reading a newspaper, and the other one is talking to the other guy, and he's just literally talking about the weather essentially. And as you open the door and walk in, now bearing in mind you are sort of disguised, and they sort of look up at you and sort of say, "Who are you?"
How many chairs are in there?
There's 4. So there's two. These two guys are in. If you imagine, there's 2 on each side of the room. So these 2 guys are sitting in 2, and there's an empty 2 again, battered old chairs. The armchairs are all mismatched as well.
I'm just going to give them a nod. While I walk to one of the empty chairs, I'm just going to like pick up a book or a discarded newspaper and then just sit down and read it.
Yeah, perfect. There's a newspaper. And yeah, perfect. So you guys sit yourself down, and they sort of look at you quizzically, but they're like, and again, you just kind of nod at them and go and sit and read a paper. So they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, so fine. So they just carry on. So this seems to be a break room, if you like.
And that's where Jason retires his character and starts a new one.
Yeah, I'm having a break, guys.
Jason just spends the next 3 weeks,
or whatever year it is.
He just spends the next 3 weeks sitting in there puffing on a pipe and reading the paper. Which, not
he starts to work for the toy company.
Exactly. Cool. Okay, so Phase Strike, you're still in the corridor.
Yep.
Sherlock Holmes is walking around, but he's kind of obviously taking things in. He's looking around again. As I say, he's going to be he's an extra asset for you to use if you want him.
Yep. Hanging back a bit just in case I heard screaming coming from either of the first 2 rooms. But
No.
I guess because I wouldn't necessarily know what's behind this door, I'm assuming it's the warehouse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but you wouldn't know what it is. But you can.
It's the next door that I come to, so I think I probably would pop in here.
I'll tell you one thing you do notice. Obviously, although this made the door the same size, but essentially these are double width doors because obviously they need to move. One would assume they would be moving packages and so on out of it. It says above the door, Waren or again, my God, I didn't know I spoke Austrian. It's amazing, really. But basically, you pretty much guess it's some sort of warehouse facility. And if you open the door, so basically it is essentially it's a big room and it's full of crates, and there is no signs of any activity. There's nobody in here loading or offloading stuff. This is basically a storeroom. You can see at the far side of the room there are some bigger double doors, which again are presumably deliveries and dispatches. Again, if you remember from the outside of the building, there is an alleyway down the when you approached it.
But having popped my head around the corner and seen that, I would probably wait for the others to come with me. In which case, I'd duck back out again and go for room number 4.
Okay, so room number 4. Again, nothing on the door.
Can I hear anything? Do I sense anything?
Don't hear anything.
Okay, I'm going to try the door then. Does it open?
Okay, so you open it's unlocked. You open it, and it is it's basically a typing pool. So as you walk in, there are 2 young women sitting at desks facing away from the door, actually. So they're facing towards the window, and they are essentially they look as if they're transcribing notes. So I'm pretty sure typewriters were around in 1890 odd. So let's assume they're just sitting there chatting. They're basically typing away on typewriters, and they're chatting to each other. So they're just again, they don't seem to be Illuminati agents. They're just essentially talking about nonsense, really. But they're obviously, and they seem oblivious to you because again they're both typing away on these noisy typewriters, clacking away on the typewriters, and talking to each other. So they don't immediately see you when you come into the room. But if you look around, again, it seems to be exactly what it appears to be. There's a couple of benches either side of the room. There's stacks of paperwork and there's supplies. So there's paper, and there's obviously piles of there's envelopes, all that kind of thing. And they're just sitting there having a good old chat, basically.
Is it possible for me to grab a bunch of the paperwork and to go back out into the corridor with it to have a leaf through?
Can do. Tell you what I'll get you to do then. So,
Yep.
what is your? Let's look at your
Excuse me,
your snooper powers.
my
Okay.
superpowers.
So obviously
There
you
is
are
no
quite you are very
calculus.
dexterous. So I'm going to get you to make if you can roll me a dexterity, roll a d20 and then add your dexterity to it.
Okay, so I've rolled I've rolled a 5. Where's Dex? It's
It's an
so
18,
18.
isn't it?
Mm.
Okay, so I'm going to roll for them. Yeah, no problem. They don't notice you at all.
Okay.
You stealthily because you just go over to the side here and you just grab what you can get your hands on and back out of the room. They're none the wiser. They're quite happily chatting away. So presumably you wish to have a look at the paperwork.
Is this where I discover that although speech is translated from Austrian, I can't actually understand anything on the paper?
Well, it's funny you say that. He
Oh,
he doesn't he's not translating the written word. However,
Doesn't Sherlock know Austrian?
yeah, exactly. So if you because you've come back out of the room, so you're
Yeah.
kind of looking at the paperwork, going, blast. I thought it would have been helpful
I'm
if I could
sure
read it. He says, well,
Sherlock will know it.
and Holmes says, well, if I may, my dear, I have a smattering of Austrian, and he takes some of the papers off you, and he just sort of flicks through it, and he says, fascinating. He says this paperwork, all of this is seems to be completely legitimate and above board. So either this is a legitimate business with an Illuminati influence, or these people are going to great and extreme lengths to maintain the illusion of being a legitimate business. But he says this paperwork is.
It might not even be the Illuminati. We might have just broken into a legitimate toy business.
Well, there is that.
The toy business is so competitive that they all have to be armed.
Yeah, I like that idea better. Actually, let's just do that. Yeah, well, exactly, and you're quite right. You don't know. I mean, if it hadn't been for the fact that obviously the receptionist was armed, which again could be down to a cutthroat toy business, and the fact that the chairman had a concealed weapon, and of course the guard room, for all intents and purposes, is a concealed guard room. But everything else that you're seeing so far seems legitimate. So you don't know. I mean, and again, the people that you count in the other parts of as I say, so you've obviously, Hyde has found a legitimate mail room. Captain Sonar's found 2 guys on break, and they didn't seem. They were, slightly surprised to see you because they obviously didn't recognise you, but they've not, attacked you or anything. They've just gone back to their business. And again, 2 secretaries having a chat in the typing pool. So again, it's a picture of it's definitely a thing of 2 halves. This you're not, you're seeing, sinister undertones, but then what seems to be a legitimate business. And again, even Holmes is processing that fact, as to whether this is, have you made a mistake? Maybe his evidence. He knows that that you interrogated guy, and this is where he's told you is their headquarters in Austria, in Vienna. So, but I guess all you can do is keep looking.
Yeah. All right. Well, I reckon I've been in here about 5 or 10 minutes, so I'm just going to get up and walk out and put the book down.
Perfect. Okay, so you both convene in the corridor, and you meet up with the other 2, kind of compare notes briefly. And so then
Where
you've got
else
one
have
more
we
room.
not done everywhere, right?
Just we haven't looked around 6, and we haven't been into 5 yet. We could do it briefly, but I'm definitely getting the impression that this lower floor is just the toy sort of factory.
Legit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing out on that. 2-handed.
Well, I mean, should we? I'll summarise for you. So, I mean, Captain Sonar uses his his modified amplifier, and as Kerrin's just said. So room 5 seems to be empty. You have a quick look in there, and it's essentially another office, but it's just unoccupied, and it looks like it's not being used. So there is a desk, and a couple of chairs and all that, but there's not even any paraphernalia or paperwork. It looks like it's just a spare office. And then room 6, as we said, is exactly that. It's the warehouse / storeroom. And if you go in there is essentially it's just crates. There's loads of crates. Again, you could spend as long as you want, really, but again, on a cursory examination, and obviously you're not going to have time to go through every single crate in there, but you look around the room and there's nothing in there, anything other than toys. So there's basically crates ready for shipping, and then there is incoming like toy supplies. So there's I guess there's rolls of fabric and there's components and parts and so on. But again, everything, as you say, everything seems legit. There's nobody in that area, so there's no warehouseman working in there at the moment. For all you know, the 2 guys in the garden, working there. There's no way of telling, but there's certainly nobody in there at the moment.
Okay, I'm happy to start heading upstairs if everyone else is.
Yep.
Fine. Okay, so if you head back over to the I'll use Homes District. So you come back through reception, and again, receptionist is still she's still zonked out, and you've got the keys. So Captain Sonar's got the keys, and sure enough, after fiddling around with the sets of keys, because as I say, there's a gate across the stairwell, and you basically climb the stairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move you over here. I think I need to grab you all to copy you over to the next page. I think it works that way on this one. All right, I'll just drag you in from the thing again. Just give me a sec. So this is the first floor. I'll just grab your counters. I'll put Benji. I'll put Benji here as well, actually, because nothing weirder than having a small Victorian child robot following you about. I'll put you over here for now until I just have a little look at the preamble. Cool. So here's the stairwell. So you've come up the stairwell. Okay. So yeah. So that's the stairwell, and brings you up onto the first floor. So again, you can see in front of you, you're in this hall. Again, they're just looking out onto the street. You know what the street looks like because it's obviously where you came from. So you've got a couple of options. You've got a door to your immediate left, and then there's a passageway leads around to the right. And you've also got this passageway here that leads right towards the back of the building. So, yeah, tell me where you want to go.
I can't see where you're clicking. Where have we come up?
Oh, okay. So you're here. Hold on.
No.
At Homes there.
I don't know why that's
are the
not
things
working.
moving on your screen, Kerrin?
No, nothing's moving.
Homes. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
So there's where you come up.
Okay.
So that's the stairwell that's basically the stairwell up from the that's the stairwell up from the ground floor.
Yep.
Okay.
So I guess if we can only see one door from our
one here
vantage point, I guess we'd head to that one first. It's a logical place.
Go check it out. Okay. So it is a again, looking over the door, there is a sign which says print office, Printgeschäft. This Austrian's fun, isn't it? So yeah, basically, if you listen at the door again, as you've been doing, and there is there's no sounds of activity. So if you open the door, have a look inside, then sure enough, it is a printing office. So there is a printing press. and there are assorted embossing and plate making tools. There are some storage cupboards, so you've got some stuff you can have a look at if you wish to do so. Again, there's nobody in there at the moment.
Money embossing plates.
I beg your pardon?
What's on the embossing plates? What are they printing? Is it fake money or propaganda?
It looks like they are they are basically for it looks like instructions possibly for toys. So again, nothing that's out and about seems to suggest anything illicit. Again, don't forget they probably also make their own packaging. So if they're selling or shipping toys in cardboard boxes, that kind of thing, then obviously they're probably printing those up as well. And it seems to be it's a like I say, it's a well stocked facility. Although again, you know, it doesn't seem anachronistic, so there's no evidence of any weird technology. It's just like a printing press, basically. But you're more than welcome to have a little dig around if you'd like to.
Nah, that's all right. Set on fire.
What about the rest of you? Anyone?
Go somewhere else.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking in at the door when he's doing that, and then I'll seeing nothing of interest, I guess I'll head down. Maybe go to.
Okay, so you notice that Holmes he says, "A moment, friends, a moment."
Oh, he's found a ceramic jar that he's smashing.
No, so Holmes is he had so you guys had sort of had a look around. He's looking around the room.
He's looking around really properly.
his attention falls on one of the cupboards.
Oh.
And
with an Illuminati symbol on it.
Yeah, that was the trick. You missed that. He goes up to the cupboard and he sort of pulls out his magnifying glass and he's like looking at it. And he says, "Captain, may I borrow the keys for a moment?" Because he opens up the cupboard and there seems to be there's a locked cabinet inside. So you've got an outer door for the cupboard, but then there's a locked inner door.
Yeah.
So if you pass him the keys and he basically examines the lock, and then he goes straight to one of the keys, puts the key in, click, opens it, and he says, interesting, I thought as much. And he starts pulling out stuff, and he brings out that you see that there's actually a number of passports and what looks like customs papers, and even the thing he's looking for, he pulls out, actually there is some counterfeit currency plates. So there's plates for, and looking at them, they're for pound sterling, and for the I guess was it the mark in Vienna in Austria, Austrian mark, and also US dollars as well. And so he says this is obviously where our friend downstairs practiced his trade in counterfeit currency. Interesting. He says there is certainly more to this place than meets the eye, for sure. And he pulls out almost absent-mindedly, he pulls out an envelope from his inner coat pocket, and he folds up a couple of the counterfeit bills and just puts them into this envelope. It's like an evidence bag, basically, and he sort of tucks it away inside his jacket again. And he says, "Interesting. Anyway, forgive my intrusion." And he gives you the keys back, Captain Sonar, and allows you to so you can carry on investigating.
He's making us look bad.
Not really. This is the one thing he's good at.
That's true.
Cool. All right. So you're in the corridor. Where would you like to go?
Yeah. Shall I? I'll try number 12, Steve.
Yeah, you can try number 12. Behind door number 12. Okay, so this is a locked door. So obviously Captain Sonar can come up with the keys, and he can open the door. So sure enough, after a brief bit of fiddling around, he finds the right key, opens the key, pushes the door open. You flick on the light switch, and you nearly faint because there is crates of dynamite stacked up in this room, and you can see that they all seem to be rigged. They all seem to be connected, so they're all stacked up. and there is copper wire running between all of the crates.
Oh wow.
Oh, it must be some
Now,
self.
there doesn't seem to be any immediate danger because there's no. They're just crates of dynamite, but obviously dynamite, it's not great. So, do you want me to get Holmes to have a look at it?
Yeah, let's
Please
disarm
do,
it.
Okay, so Holmes comes and he spends a moment. He again pulls out his blinking magnifying glass, looks around, and he sort of looks at he ponders for a moment, and he says, interesting. He says, it looks as if this is some sort of device which is designed to possibly destroy the building and therefore any evidence of Illuminati involvement. See here, this crude mechanism, and he points at it, shows you where the wire is. And he says, I would suspect that this is probably linked to a activation device somewhere else in the building, so that the building can be destroyed if deemed necessary. I suggest we may want to. It may be prudent for me to disarm the connections purely as a safety measure.
I was going to suggest as much. If you know how to do it, Holmes, please be my guest.
So he says, Captain, may I borrow your tools for a moment?
Okay.
So you hand over your tools, and he essentially pulls out you've presumably got some sort of wire strippers or something, and he essentially goes around. He just cuts the copper wire between all of them. He says, elementary, really. Without the conductive connection, then a remote detonator cannot have any effect. So he just literally cuts the connections between, and you can see that the copper wire at one end of the stack of crates kind of disappears up. It's basically going into a hole in the wall, so it presumably runs off. But he just cuts the connection.
Okay.
Again, we're not. This is the Victorian era, so nothing too high tech. But he takes a moment and sort of surveys his work. I'm relatively convinced we're safe now, unless of course someone were to throw a lighted match in here, then we might have a problem. But yeah, certainly this. I would say this cannot be detonated remotely.
Okay, good news.
Cool.
Should we
Okay.
head across the
So,
hall?
I beg your pardon?
Should we head across the hall, number 15?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
And I think we should lock the door on the way out as well. Keep it locked.
You don't think we should
no
just
problem.
put some in our pocket?
What, dynamite?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me, yeah.
I'm going to put a couple of sticks in my pocket.
I assume we inspect it first to make sure it doesn't look sweaty.
Yeah, because you don't want your dynamite to be sweaty.
You don't want your dynamite to be sweaty. Does it not? Does it not break down if it gets too old and it becomes extremely unstable?
I'm sure that's true. If it's any consolation, this looks like fresh dynamite. So
oh well, if it's fresh dynamite, that's okay then.
I'm sure it'll be totally fine. I mean, again,
it's not like it hasn't been sat in the room for like 200 years. We're in like 1895,
yeah, 1899, I think, isn't it? You certainly can. Yeah, you certainly can take. Certainly, if you
I'll
want to
put
take
a couple in my
sticks,
pocket,
yeah,
like a
not a
big
problem.
cigar.
You can do that.
Stick,
yeah, not a
just
problem
in
at all.
case.
Okay, fine. So you check out. You're going to room 15, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so room 15. This is just another, just simply another office. Essentially, there's again, you suspect this must be the office of the that's related to the print room. This time Holmes has you sort of all have a look around, and again Holmes does his thing, but he clearly loses interest in it, so it doesn't appear as if there's anything of any interest. It's all pretty straight. It's just like literally again just an office with a desk and there's paperwork and stuff, but it all looks legit.
Cool,
Okay.
then I guess we move on.
Yeah.
Did we lock door number 12 when we left?
Yeah, but you said you were going to do that, so that's totally fine. You can do that.
Cool.
Okay,
Have
so
we been
we're
into 15 yet? I'm losing track.
what was that?
Have we been into 15 yet? I can't remember, and I'm losing
Yeah,
track.
so 15 is just an empty room.
So
I mean,
should we try 13 next?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Okay. Right. Again, nothing above the door. and the room is empty. This one is actually empty. There's literally nothing in it apart from dust and a few cobwebs, but it's completely empty.
You better
You
get
can
Sherlock in there. Double
you can
check.
spend a moment. Yeah, Sherlock comes in and has a poke around with his
Is it empty,
magnifying
Sherlock?
glass. But again,
I
there's no secret doors or
Door-
anything.
Floorboards seem stable, do they? And
I beg your pardon?
the floorboards don't seem loose at all, or
No, he gives it a good, again, bearing in mind you are obviously you're trying to move relatively quickly, but he looks around and says, no, exactly as it appears, my friends, empty. He said, judging by the dust patterns, the room hasn't been used for some time.
okay.
Coolio.
16.
Right, move on to the next one.
Yep.
All right, so moving to 16. So 16, just bear with me one moment. Okay, right. So you, who's going into the room first?
I don't know. It depends what 6 means.
Is it locked at all? Does it require a key?
No, the door isn't locked. No.
Oh bollocks! I guess I'll go in first.
Have I switched my? I haven't switched my thing to a weapon yet, have I?
You can tell if you tell me you have, that's fine, because you've had time while you've been walking around to do.
I've done it now after we went upstairs. After we were done with the downstairs. That's what
Perfect.
I'm in
Okay.
earlier.
No problem. So Hyde, you go into the room and there are 3 employees. They are all young men. Let's say they're young men. So they could very well be something to do with the print room. You don't know. They're all sitting at desks and they're just like working. Seem innocent enough, but obviously as soon as you walk in, they all kind of do a double take and go like, who the hell are you? Because again, I'm going to put this guy down. He's not exactly not the vibe I'm going for, but he'll have to do. So he looks pretty sullen, but these are basically 3. Like I said, they're just 3 employees. Yeah, and they're just obviously surprised by the fact that you've just walked in. They don't know who you are. Obviously, despite your disguise, you still are quite a sight, because you are an imposing individual with a Union Jack cricket bat. So it's hard for you to blend in. But
Does
again,
nobody else have a Union Jack cricket bat here? Oh,
very rarely. Certainly not
Let's find
in Austria in 1899. They are they don't quite know what to make of you. They sort of go, who are you? What are you doing here? Because but they don't seem to be so they're not reaching for weapons or anything. They're just like, who are you?
Okay. I'm going to ask if they know where the toilet is. I'm just looking for the bathroom, the toilet.
In
Okay,
English.
cool. So give me a D20, and then because your ego was 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Seem to remember. Yeah, give me a D20. 10. Okay. Oh yeah, fine.
Yeah.
They go,
Just get out of the way. Let me throw the dynamite in.
Yeah. So they go, it's yes, there isn't. It's down the corridor and to the down the corridor and to the right.
Okay.
And you say, okay, fine, thank you. You
Back
close
out.
the door and they're like, and you can hear confused conversation, but yeah, they bought it because again that was like an ego attack you made on them. So yeah, you kind of convinced them, even though they're a bit confused. Okay. Maybe they think you're here. Maybe they think you're here to you're here as part of a toy demonstration or something. I guess that would be the most obvious, the obvious answer, wouldn't it?
Yep. So they just looked a little bit bewildered rather than defensive.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so
They just seem. Yeah,
I get the impression they're employees. They're not necessarily
quite right. Although they've got the same tokens as they're just literally 3, and they're young guys. So you suspect they're probably 20s. But yeah, they just seem to be just genuinely confused by the fact that you just stuck your head in and asked them where the toilet is. Obviously, Benji is obviously translating, so they seem to understand you, even though you're not speaking in Austrian, but they didn't seem confused by the language either. So you can thank Benji for that one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, fine. So you've kind of explored all of these rooms. where would you like to go next?
Steve, there's a room number 1. That's just the reception room below, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, that's right. So basically, that's like a if you imagine like it's a gallery.
Yes.
So
So you can see
up
down.
here, so up here, your base. That's this bit here. I can never get this to do the bloody. It's really irritating because it should. If I double click on it, it should activate a point. There you go. So this area here is basically the stairwell up to the next floor.
Yeah.
This is this here is the stairs from the sorry, I'm going to use Sherlock here. So these stairs here is where you came up.
Yes.
These stairs here are the stairs up to the next floor.
Right.
Again,
Okay.
there's a stair gate there, which again you've got the key for. And this
Okay.
area here is essentially open, looking down into the reception hall below.
How many
feel like we
stories
should
high was this
quickly-
building, Steve?
Say that again. What was that?
How many
Sorry?
stories high was this building?
3. So this is the first floor. So you've got the ground floor, first floor, second floor.
Okay, cool.
And I'm not
I think
using
we
the
should just do
American
the other
method.
corridor quickly.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll check the other rooms before heading up.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to retrofit my map. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to assume there is a bathroom here. Let's say small bathroom, a single toilet, basically.
Yep,
So
cool.
they weren't lying to you. Okay, so room 9. So if the rest of you want to just gather yourselves to where you want to be, I'll bring Benji over here because he's sort of just tailing along, carrying along. We'll say that Sherlock is kind of lugging him around, give him something to do. Cool. So okay, this room. Okay, so room number 9. Okay, so this just has a sign above it which says workshop. Simply says workshop.
I'm going to poke my head inside.
Okay, so you open the door and there are two guys in there. Hold on, I'm going to nick 2 of these. Let's bring them over. 2 guys, and they're basically, this is a workshop. There's a workbench. There's tools on the wall, and again, they seem to be, I don't know, they're working on what look like clockwork train sets. In fact, so they've got train components on the workbench in front of them, and one of them's got like a magnifying, like a jeweler's eyepiece.
Yeah.
The thing they put in their eye. Yeah. So, and they both look up at you as you walk in, and they look quizzical, and then both of them actually start coming around the bench towards you, and they're like,
Go.
"Who are you? What are you doing here? You don't
Guten
work here. Who
Tag.
are you? Do we look
That's
German
it.
to you?"
Yes. Ah. What are they doing?
You notice that one of them picks up picks up a wrench on the workbench, and the other one is.
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
He says, "You shouldn't be in this building, and we're going to make sure you leave now. Shift." I don't know how they've turned into East End gangsters from. Anyway.
I just give him a big pimp, open-handed slap. The one with the wrench with my power fist.
Okay, so I'm going to get you to. Let's have a little look. Bear with. I'm just going to find my little sheet, which has gone somewhere. Which I can't find it. What have I done with it?
Just can't get good employees these days.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to give me a. So your open-handed slap will be a weapon class 2. Are you using your fist amplifier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Weapon class 4 versus the weapon class.
He's got a wrench.
That's right. He is wielding a wrench, so it's not completely without justification. Okay, so your weapon class 4, they are DC 10. Oh dear. Okay, so you need to get basically a 4 or better to hit them with a D20.
D20 him.
Oh yeah, no problem. Okay, so you say, well, don't say I didn't warn you, and you basically thwack this one, and he flies back into the wall to the ground unconscious. The wrench hits the floor, making a loud clatter. His mate then tries to rush you. So I'm going to give him a chance to hit you. So he has got a weapon class of 1, and your DC is defense class is 6. So he's got to get an 11 or better to have a chance of hitting you. So just bear with. Nah, he makes a swing for you, but you easily avoid it. So I mean, you can have another go because you're in the doorway to this room, so the others can't get past you. But you've got another 2 frames to take. So do you want to just have another go at him?
I'm just gonna. I want to like grab him, like just grab him.
You want to grab him? No problem. Okay. Right. So if you can roll me a d20, you need to get a. Hang on a minute. Your weapon class was 4, so you need to give me a 8 or better to grab him. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah. Perfect. So you you easily grab him, and you can kind of. I guess you can probably lift him off the ground if you. It depends what you want to do with him.
I want to just grab him by the scruff of the neck and be like, "Have you had enough yet?" And you know.
And he's like, okay. He goes, "Who are you? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here, attacking prospective purchasers of toys?"
He says, "Listen, I don't know what you are, but you're clearly not here to buy." He says, "Look, all I know is the boss told us to keep anyone we didn't recognise out of the building. So," he says, "Look, I don't want any trouble."
All right. Well, I just sort of push him back, and then I'm going to close the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock it and snap the key in the lock so he can't get out.
Perfect. Or you could also possibly just freeze the lock. That'd do the same thing, and then you wouldn't risk losing a key then.
Oh, are we actually use the same key for multiple rooms? Let's freeze it then.
You may do. You don't know. You haven't seen all the rooms yet. So, but freezing the lock will do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, that will do it.
So you just pull the freeze gun out and go, and it just it absolutely locks solid. I mean, obviously the ice will melt at some point.
Well, I'm not trying to starve him to death forever. He can come out later.
No problem. Okay, fine. So you've dealt with them. Cool.
So being so kind, I'm pretty sure this whole building's going to blow up at some point.
That's all you can think about now, isn't it? Is the room full of dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So the next room around is room number 10. So I just need to make a roll here. Just bear with me.
Someone else can go in this one first.
Fine. Okay, you open the door and it is an office space, but there is nobody in it.
I'm very good at finding empty rooms at office spaces.
Yeah.
You can have number 11 then as well.
I'm going to have a good look around in the room anyway, and maybe hit some floorboards or something.
Again, Sherlock will follow you in and have a look around, and there's nothing. There's a couple of desks, and but
are we sure it's empty? Let me use my power that I haven't used at all year. I want to use my my hearing that lets me see invisible people.
Sonar sense, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, yeah. Even I forgot you've got that. Yeah, fine. You use your sonar ability, 40-meter range, 180-degree arc. No, there's nothing in the room. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing invisible.
It's definitely empty, guys.
And the walls are all solid. The downside is you make a sound like a banshee shrieking as you.
Oh God!
No, you don't. It's fine. Kaka. No, it's fine. You use your sonar sense, and there's nothing in the room other peers. And then the last one you've got is room 11. Okay, who wants to go in this one first?
I reckon Sarah should go in.
It's all yours, Space Strike.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be empty or an office. Let's see what happens.
Third time's the charm.
The door is not locked.
Okay.
And you open the door, and there is indeed an employee. This time, it's an older man, and he seems to be working at a drawing desk. You know, one of those angled drawing desks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he looks like a draftsman, and he's he's an older gentleman. He's got like a what do you call it? You know, like the kind of eye shades. Like it looks like a peaked cap, but without the cap bit. So it's just the peak.
Yeah.
And he's got thick glasses, and he's bent over his a drawing. You assume he's a toy designer. He's working on a drafts board, and he looks up as you he looks up as you open the door.
Yep.
And he says, "Oh, he says, hello, my dear. Can I help you?"
Knock him out, Face Strike. Knock him out.
Don't take his Larryness. Probably reaching for a weapon.
Slug him.
But I know we have a thing about sort of taking out all the pensioners, don't we?
I mean, it's more of a guideline than a rule, but okay.
No, I'm just going to walk over and look at what he's drawing, because he hasn't appeared to be threatening yet. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to walk over and see if I can see what he's working on. Is it genuinely a sort of toy design thing?
Yes, it is. It just seems to be essentially it's a doll's house. He's designing
The Tamagotchi he's designing.
a Tamagotchi. It's a Rubik's cube.
Okay,
but he seems to be legitimate.
Okay, and is there anything else around in the room that looks like it could do with more investigation, like cupboards or shelves or?
Simply, there is a storage rack with like rolled up papers. So there's a lot of them, but they look to be draft. Like in other words, his old designs where they're all got stacked up.
Yeah.
I love that you're just ignoring him and just going around snooping. Can I help you?
Can I help you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not posing a threat at the moment, and if I start engaging with him,
he'll know you're not Austrian.
I think he might know actually from looking at me. To be honest, I might ask him where the ladies is.
Yeah. He's. I mean, he seems harmless enough. I mean, he's. You're not even convinced he can actually. You're not even convinced that he can actually see that clearly, because the thickness of those glasses is something to.
Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Still here.
Oh, sorry.
The sound cuts out every so often. I can't tell when people are not talking or if the sound's cut out. Okay. Well, if there's nothing more in that room, then do we still have another floor above us?
You do.
We do.
Yep, you do have one more floor to go.
I might back out in that case.
Perfect. And he sort of, as you're backing out, he kind of goes back to his work. He seems to be quite engrossed in what he's doing. So
yeah, I mean, obviously it will turn out that will be the one person that we should have actually done it. But I'm content.
It turns out he's the chief Illuminati guy.
He wasn't wearing a ring with a strange-looking triangle and an eye on it or something, was he?
Certainly not that you noticed. No.
Okay, that's good.
This might sound wrong, but I don't know if any of you will get this reference. But do any of you recall Benny Hill from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang when he was like the sort of toy maker?
Yes.
So very much that vibe from him, apart from maybe the slightly dodgy choices surrounding that character. But in terms of his appearance, kindly old gentleman, bushy beard, and seems harmless, and he's just gone back to his drawing. So great. So you've cleared that floor. Now, if you can give me a couple of minutes, I'm just going to relocate. I'm just going to go on mute, and I will catch up with you in a mo. Okay? So please feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Thanks. It's going to kick off when we go upstairs.
Well, yeah, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Got to get those sticks of dynamite out somehow.
Yeah. Rightly or wrongly, and I was thinking about this earlier. I know this is fiction, and we're role playing. I cannot, even in fiction, walk up to somebody who's not doing me any harm and smack them one.
No, me neither. They've got to give me a reason.
I mean,
I mean, it feels like you're making veiled comments there, but
why-
everybody, I'm just acting in self-defense. Everyone's reached for a weapon so far.
No, that's true. We all have different reactions when we walk into rooms.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's only
yours,
a pen.
Jason, is people pull a weapon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
literally
true.
every time. Even that poor receptionist downstairs pulled out a gun.
No, that's why we brought you along, Jace, so that you can knock out the innocents when.
They're not innocent. That's the point.
Like the guy in the room downstairs, I knocked the table away. You're the guy who froze him and stuck a sock in his mouth.
I only
Yes, he
threatened
doesn't get
him. I
away.
didn't actually hurt him.
You hurt his pride.
Probably.
Yeah, Captain Sonar's definitely the muscle here, I think.
It's gonna be good.
So I guess we're heading upstairs next, right?
I think so.
What
Ah.
exactly are we looking for? Because I'm still a little bit lost.
We so far it sounds like we're looking for a money counterfeiting gang, but it's something bad. Sherlock's not being totally honest with us.
Something to do with the Illuminati.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what are we looking for? A person? Are we looking for an object?
I don't know. Just anything that seems suspicious or out of place. Or
Okay, I'm glad it's not just me then.
no, but I live my life like this, never really knowing what's going on. So I just assume it's the same for everyone.
Sarah Jane, did the kids go back to school all right?
Yeah, my eldest, who's 15, has started at Crawley College. She's doing a course for 14, 16-year-olds.
Nice.
Yeah, so he started there earlier this week. My youngest, he went back to school last Thursday, so
Yep.
he's almost been back a week already. It's crazy.
Yes, yeah. Rufus went back Thursday as well.
Yeah.
Alice started school on Monday. It was her
Oh
first.
wow!
Yeah.
How did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she just gets on with it. There's sort of no reaction from her whatsoever. She did attend the nursery, which is part of the school, so they she's even got some of the same teachers. She's in the same playground, so it's not all that different for her.
Oh, that's good. Continuity is really, really good for them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So soft start for her, and yeah, Rufus just kind of got on with it as well. So yeah, no, it seems like there's not really that much change between them.
I know what you're talking about.
What's that? School.
Yeah, it's all going okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, it's all you can ask for, really, isn't it? They don't really they don't even complain about going. So
no, that's again great at that age, isn't it? That they just go on with it, like so.
It's good because it hasn't occurred to them that they could try and say no. But
correct. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they haven't realised they've got free will yet. Brilliant. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll pick up if that's okay. So we are.
We're going to head round for the stairs, unlock the gate, and then head up, Steve.
Perfect. So you do that. You'll head round. I'm going to bear with me a moment, and I will move you over to the top floor.
Cool.
I had lots of fun making these maps. Gee, I wonder what that could be. This map tool is great fun, though.
I'm not going in that room first. It'll be empty.
Yes.
Right, I've got to bring your account. Yeah, again, obviously, there is a little bit of player disconnect here because, of course, you can see the map. But I know you're going to just treat it as if
right, we're professionals.
As if you can't. You're professionals. Yeah, we've done this before. But yeah, this little map tool is a bit of a lifesaver. It's very, very cool, very quick and easy. Because unfortunately, the maps in the magazine and they didn't scan very well. So, but what I'll do is
the legs.
There you go. Put it all in there. I don't know what he's doing. What's he doing there? Don't need you, Mr. Sherlock. I'm not going to bother dragging over the Benji. We'll just assume Benji, because again, Benji's just there to translate, really.
Yeah, that's
cool. Okay, so you come up into the again. You're on the top floor now. Again, windows ahead of you as you come up the stairs, looking out. So obviously looking out over the street below. Again, your first obvious doorway is. In fact, you've got two obvious doorways here. You've got one right to your
On the
immediate right as you come up the stairs,
Yeah.
and then there is another room to your left.
Yep.
So where would you like to go first?
I guess the first door we come across, right? Room 17.
Yep. Seems good to me.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, so room 17. You open the door. It's not locked. There's nothing on the door to indicate what it contains. You have a listen as we as you've done already, and open the door. And essentially, it seems to be a storeroom. So it's a very dusty room. So you walk in, and you immediately are like, "Achoo!" And it just seems to be stacked high with broken toys. So presumably broken prototypes, maybe, or returned toys. But a very quick cursory search of the room, you can tell this room is not used, because again, it's just dusty, and it has that kind of smell of dust and slight mold about it.
Steve,
Yeah.
the break in the toys, is it consistent? For example, smuggling items within like a China doll or something. Have they been
Excellent.
broken in a way that
Mm.
suggests
That's
that
a great
they were used
question.
or something?
It hadn't occurred to me, but I'm going to say yes, because they get such a good idea. So yes, you have a look around, and there does seem to be a pattern which suggests that maybe this would indicate that again, tying in with some of the evidence you've seen already, that although this facility obviously has a legitimate element to it, that yes, indeed, this may very well be evidence of them having smuggled toys. So yes, you're right. There's like, as you say, dolls, and there's like toy drums that have got the skin torn in a consistent manner. So again, although there's nothing overtly criminal about it, it certainly looks suspicious, put it that way.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, that's a good idea. That haven't even occurred to me, but that's a really good idea. So yeah, we'll go with that. I like that idea. Cool. Okay. Right. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go next?
So I guess we'll give this room a relatively thorough look before heading out, and then the next door we come to, right?
Can I get Holmes to the side and just say that we've been through most of this building already, and we can't see anything really that looks all that suspicious. Are you sure that there's something going on here?
Yeah, let's leave. Let's all leave.
I mean,
there's nothing to find here, clearly.
Quite suspicious, and the
That's
dynamite.
right. There's clearly nothing else to find here, is there? So he says, the evidence will lead us where the evidence leads us. We've seen enough to assure us that there is something untoward about this operation.
Because he said he nicked someone in London, didn't he? Who was counterfeiting. Is that right?
So the guy who was on the ground floor, one of the thugs in the room.
Yeah, he had inky fingers.
He examined his fingers, and he said what he's saying was it tied back to a case that he had been looking into back in London, to do with counterfeiting. So he's suggested that chap was involved in that case, because he said that there's a distinctive ink pattern staining to his fingers. And again, you found a print room here, which suggests that this is probably where that currency was printed, or at least some of it. So he's certainly seen enough to assure him that there's criminality going on.
Yeah.
But obviously, the reason you've come here is because you're trying to track, your mission, if you like, is to find this alien, or this robot from the future.
Yeah.
And this is where Benji deposited you here, because this is where the activity, or in this time period and in Austria, was where he believed that this is where you'll find what you're looking for. So
I think I'm going to run with Faye Strike's sort of questioning and sort of query Holmes as to not even maybe accuse Holmes of using us to follow his agenda. Like, is this to do with like his Is he investigating a case with this money laundering, and he's using our need to search for something else as part of his? I'm just going to double down on him a little bit and question. Has he got more to go on than just this?
As well, my dear Hyde, and interesting choice of name, by the way. Not the first individual with that name that I've encountered. But regardless, if you recall, my discovery of the potential forger downstairs purely accidental. My evidence trail that's brought me here was to do with my the friend of my friend, Dr. Freud, if you recall, who had advised me that a scientist friend of his had disappeared, and this is where the evidence trail has led me to. I cannot say that I am surprised or disappointed to discover evidence of wrongdoing tied to a previous case. Indeed, that case had vexed me for some time, in that I had not been able to trace any of the perpetrators, but it seems that I have now managed to do so. So I will not disavow you of the notion that there is potentially additional benefits to myself. However, I feel that we are still on the trail of the Illuminati agents, which is what's brought us here in the first place. And I suggest we should finish off our investigations before we make any determination. The evidence will speak for itself.
All
right.
Should we go
there.
into the next room?
Okay, so the next room you come across is room number 19.
That's it.
So room number 19 is So this is another room that is basically full of broken toys, and there's also broken furniture and packing materials, crates, and so on. So again, it seems like another storeroom. This room doesn't seem to have the same pattern of breakages as the other room did. So in other words, this looks legitimately like they've just dumped rubbish in here.
Mm-hmm.
However, can I get can all of you make a, let's have a think. Yeah, make a tell you what, give me a D6 roll, please.
All of us.
Yeah, just give me a D6. Okay.
Oh, what did I just roll?
A death dice by the look of it. I wouldn't know that.
I was looking at it thinking, why does it have a skull on it? There we go. I rolled an
Okay,
action.
so right, so Captain Sonar, and so you all of you in the room investigating. Holmes is still contemplating. You're all kind of in here mooching about, but you two notice that there seems to be an area here where the debris has been kept clear, and on further examination, it seems as if there are tracks in the dust, suggesting that there may very well be a hidden doorway.
Paneling, bookcases, anything like that appear
Beg
to
your pardon?
be moved. Is there paneling or bookcases, anything like that attached?
No,
to
there
walls?
seems to be it looks as if there's a panel door similar to the one that you saw downstairs.
Oh, okay.
But
Can we listen at
it? Sure. You can. Yeah, you listen at the door. You cannot hear. So you cannot hear anything on the other side of the door. Seems quiet. But clearly, this is a door that sees some use, because again, so you can literally see the tracks in the dust. So obviously, this door has been opened and closed a few times.
Go up and have a listen. Has it got a peephole in or anything?
Yeah, you have a listen. You can't hear anything coming from the other side.
Is it locked?
Let's
Beg your
open
pardon?
it.
Is it locked?
No. Again, it's like the door downstairs. It's a like you say, a sliding panel.
Let's open it.
Yeah, let's open it a little way and have a peep.
Okay. Well, so you open the door, and what you see inside is a large room. And from your viewpoint, you can see that there are 6 curved tables arranged around in a rough circle in the middle of the room. And obviously, important to note, there isn't anybody in the room, so there's nobody in the room at the moment. Also, the room is almost double height, so there's obviously like a gallery above, which leads in. Presumably, this is a space that opens up into the roof space of the building, because you know that this is the top floor of the building. But this room's obviously been extended upwards, so they've obviously taken out the. They've taken it right up to the roof, and you can, if you look above, you can see the roof. The slant of the roof, and there's like a window in the top, but it's quite a big space. It's certainly, apart from the warehouse, it's the biggest space you've seen in the building. And if you move into the room, there's a few details that you pick up on. So on the floor, because again you can't see it immediately until you get a bit closer, but on the floor there is indeed a tiled mosaic of an eye in the pyramid, surrounded by golden rays, which you know, and if you don't know, Holmes will confirm is the symbol of the Illuminati. So yeah, it is clearly this is some sort of an Illuminati meeting space. And on the north wall of the bit, so up on the wall at the far end, there's a staircase which leads. There's like a gallery at the far end. So there's like a raised, like if you imagine there's like a mezzanine level, but it's just like a narrow walkway. So it's almost as if it's there for people to observe, to stand up there and watch what's going on in the room below. And it is on the north wall, there is a large map, and the map is a map of the world, kind of an abstracted map of the world. But you notice that there are Illuminati symbols on various cities around the world. So,
is it easily committed to memory, Steve, or is it worth having?
Probably, but you actually, because Holmes essentially, he's like saying, "My goodness, this could be most significant," and he actually starts making a sketch, because obviously he's got a notebook with it, so he's literally making a sketch.
Okay, cool.
And what you can see, again, if you're looking at it, and I'm assuming all of your geography, is relatively good, then there seems to be flags, Illuminati flags, indicating presence in at least Washington, London, Rome, St. Petersburg, and other major cities. However, there are two different flags with a strange tetrahedral symbol. One seems to be in Romania, and one seems to be in the Adriatic. So that's the detail on the map. So, like I say, there are Illuminati flags placed across major cities. Like I say, those cities that I've mentioned, plus a few others. So I presume, you could probably assume somewhere maybe in Australia, and like I say, across Europe. But again, there are also two different flags. These have a tetrahedron on them, so it's a different symbol. One's in Romania, and one is in the Adriatic, which is obviously at the sort of far end of the Mediterranean. And again, looking around the rest of the room, there doesn't seem to be much else in the room. It's obviously a ceremonial space, because again, as we've said, the Illuminati are a secret society, essentially, right? So, there is a symbolic and a kind of a ritualistic element to it, which is important. So, yeah, that's what you found so far. Cool. So, what else would you like to do?
So these tables, are they desks? Do they have drawers? Do they have anything on them?
They seem to be they're bare. There's nothing in them. They literally it's almost as if it's like a meeting space where, if you imagine that there would be somebody at each desk. And again, you don't know enough about the rituals of the Illuminati. And again, Holmes is making notes and sketches, and so it's unclear as to whether the arrangement of the desks is significant or.
Yep.
But again, it certainly has a ritualistic element to it.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
I'll have a quick jog up the stairs and have a look downwards to see if there's any visual significance from upstairs, and just see if there's anything up on the
Cool.
gallery upstairs.
Are you going up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so you go up onto the gallery. So as I say, there's a staircase leading up, and interestingly, there is a stairwell. So that you see the stairs there, which is the stairs where Hyde is there, go up to the gallery. But there is also another staircase still leading up further, and it actually goes up to there's another door. So it seems as if there is more up above you. So although you're on the main top floor of the building, it seems as if there is actually more space above. Now I don't think I've actually got a map for that. I've just realised now I haven't. That's fine. I'll just describe it. It's not a problem.
I will relay that down to them down below, Steve.
Yeah. So again, there is another door, which, as I say, leads up. Those stairs lead up, and then there is another door. This door again seems to be designed to not attract attention. It's not like an ornate door or anything. It's obviously there. It leads somewhere, but it's not overt, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me just get back to where we were. Just need to check something. Okay. There we go. Right. Cool. Yep. So, so you head up the stairs. So you can open the door, and again, the door just pushes open. It's not. It's not locked in any way. Again, it's quiet, and it slides open quietly. And you're faced. If you imagine, there's a corridor ahead of you, and you can see there is basically two doors on your right. There's a short corridor, two doors on your right, and then you can see that the corridor seems to bend round at the end, and you can see at least one other room, another door at the far end of the corridor. It is about. Let me just see how far. So the corridor is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so it's about 20 meters. So it seems to basically essentially goes to the far wall of the bit. You can see that the corridor almost leads to the far side of the building. But like I say, there's two doors obviously on your right as you come up those stairs. Both doors are closed currently. So yeah, you can check those out if you wish to do so.
I think I'll go back and tell the others what I found before poking through doors. I think, Steve.
Okay.
I think upon hearing that, I will go up the stairs behind him just in case he needs another.
Yeah, do that. So everyone goes up there, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Claws or whatever.
And then I guess I'll go through the doors one at a time. So the first door I come across.
Okay, so you're going in first. Okay, so as you go into the room, and the first thing you see, there are two men in the room. What I'll do is I will just bear with me. I'll try and rough this out a bit.
Are they reaching for weapons?
They may very well be carrying weapons. So you as you say, you go into this room. Let's assume it's this room here. Like I say, the layout's more or less the same. So you go into this room here, and you walk into the room, and as you look around, it seems to be looks like a radio or a communications room, like a radio room. That's the first thing you see. The second thing you see is that there are two armed guards carrying similar submachine guns, and they both leap up as you walk in the door and draw their weapons. So they're not asking questions. They are simply going to shoot at you, I think. So what we'll do is we'll go into a combat round. So if I can get one of you, I guess, Kerrin, if you can roll a d10 for me, please. And I will roll a d10 for them. Oh, it's an equal. So I think, what happens if it's a draw? So just roll again. Just do it again. Give me another d10.
Oh dear.
Oof.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Oh,
So
dear.
they get because they're basically they're NPCs, so they get 2 frames.
Yep.
That's all they get in a round anyway. So they are going to. So they're both going to basically shoot. They're not even going to ask questions. They're just going to shoot at you.
Okay.
So you've come into the room. So Face Strike, you're behind him, aren't you?
Yes.
Is that
I
right?
knew Face Strike should have gone in first.
Yeah, 'cause this
wouldn't
one
have been
would have been
anyone in
Would have
here.
been empty.
So they whip up the machine guns. Okay, so the first one is going to have a go at you. So he has got a weapon class 1. So let's have a look and see what height. Let's just make sure we understand everything Hyde's got going for him here. Blah 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 blah. So your defense class is 6. They have got a weapon class of 1. So weapon class of 1 versus a DC of 6 is they need to get an 11 or better. Well, he needs to get an 11 or better because there's 2 of them. Obviously, they act individually. Fine. So he shoots, misses you. A couple of shots hit the wall beside you. That's all of his actions. He can't do anything else. His mate's going to have a go as well. Same roll. Yeah, both of them miss you. So you've obviously startled them as you've come into the room. So they've whipped up. They've actually reacted admirably quickly. However, their shots are terrible.
Yep.
So the shots go wild. So okay, so you've now got all of your frames to act to do as you wish.
Okay. I
So
will
let
ask
him
him
have
where
it.
the toilet is.
There's no need to shoot at me. I was only looking for the toilet.
I think Captain Sonar's quickest, isn't he? Is that right?
But Captain Sonar's not in the room. I think it's just
Oh,
you
is he not?
guys.
Okay. All right.
He's behind, sort of in the corridor. So he'll get into action in a minute. But
Way outside.
Okay. I
he's
think
actually
I
looking for
will.
the toilet.
I'll use my swiftiness to
Yep.
position myself behind them.
Perfect. You can do that. Yeah, you can move anywhere in that room instantly. So that'll take you 2 frames because that's a use of a superpower. So just move yourself, position. Yeah. So you're behind them. No problem. You sort of zip in there. And then you're going to use a bat slam, I'm guessing.
I will do. Yep.
Okay, fine. So weapon class 4. So weapon class 4. There, DC 10, I think. So you need to get a 4 or better to hit them.
Lovely. Is that a D20, Steve?
D20, please. Yep. 4 or better.
Oh, come on.
No. Okay. So, that's actually a critical. That's a critical miss as well.
Yeah.
Can you give me a D10?
I can.
Okay.
Why on the first attack I do in the whole thing?
Basically, yeah. So you sort of lose your balance. I'm not going to overplay it because that would be unfair. Where's my little chart gone? Yeah. So basically, you kind of overextend. I think you kind of maybe because you move quickly and then you try and strike them and you kind of overextend. So you kind of slip. So it's going to take you your next couple of frames just to recover. You don't fall over or anything, but you'll lose your 2 frames. So right. So now, next up, then if we go in dexterity order now because you were in the room. So yeah, Captain Sonar, you can act next. So you're out in the corridor and you've obviously heard the gunshots. What would you like to do?
Can I get up to one of these guys? Am I close enough?
Well, you can move. So you can move. You could basically the doors again. This isn't the exact map, but basically this is a corridor. The door's sort of here, so you can get into the room in 1 frame. We'll get you into the room because you've got a movement of 5 meters, so that's fine. So that'll get you into the room. And then you see 2 guys who are bizarrely the 2 guys are looking at you because Hyde moved at super speed behind them, so they haven't quite clocked yet that he's behind them. But he's obviously taken a swing at them and has missed. So you are basically facing the 2 of them.
I will. That's fine. Can I activate my shield?
You can do so. You activate your shield. So it's personal force field, which absorbs 4d6. So that takes an action to create. So you've used one frame. You've used one action, which is 2 frames, to activate your shield. So you've got 1 frame left. So you can't really use a superpower to attack. But I guess you can move closer to them if you want, or just
I'm
hold
just gonna
it.
stand there.
Cool. So okay, so you've moved into the room, and yeah, you bring up a shimmering, because you have like a shimmering force field, which I think essentially surrounds you. So yeah, you're covered in the force field. So right, Phase Strike, you can act now.
I
And
wasn't
again, it'll take you a
whip my
frame
gun
to
out,
move
but
into the room.
yeah, no, that's cool. I was going to whip the gun out and use that, but since Hyde is behind them, I think it's probably better not to. Can I like hand spring towards them and attempt to kick the gun out of one of their hands?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, no problem at all. So you've got gymnastics. So yeah, you basically come into the room, as you say. You kind of
The hand springing is because I can do it, and also because I'm from the 80s, so I have amazingly fluffy hair, and it will look good.
I mean, and there's no better reason that I can think of to
Yep.
to do it.
That's why.
Cool. So you hand spring into the room, and all I get you to do is to make a hand-to-hand attack to disarm them. So your weapon class with your hand-to-hand is 2. Actually, yeah, because you've got a somersault attack, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. In fact, that case, then let's just go with that, because you've got that as a kind of signature move anyway. So you've got a weapon class of 2. So you need a 6 or better.
Okay, with the D20.
D20.
Oh.
Perfect. Do you know what? So because you rolled so low, I'm going to let you bounce into the room, and you can essentially take both. You can, because they're close together. You can disarm them both in one move. So you kind of come into the room, you bing bing bing, and you literally do a leg sweep or something, and you knock the guns out of both of their hands, which go clattering to the ground. So they are now disarmed.
Awesome.
So background again. So if Kerrin, do you want to give me as you did it last time, do you want to give me a D10 again for the initiative? Okay. Got a 7. So my guys get, I think they get hold on a minute, what's the difference there? So if it's a 7, that means they get yeah, they get their 2 frames, but again, they're both disarmed. So this guy is going to try and hit Phase Strike hand to hand, though he's got no weapon because she's disarmed him. Again, they haven't clocked that you're behind them because you move so quickly. So he's going to try and hit Phase Strike. So he has got a hand-to-hand attack is weapon class 1. Phase Strike's DC is 6. So 1 verse is 6. Oh, that's not. He's got to get like a 12 or better to hit you. No, so he misses you, Phase Strike, or you easily avoid him. This guy, he moves a frame because again, Captain Sonar's in his line of sight, so he moves a frame. He's again going to try and he hits you. So he moves forward, hand-to-hand attack. His hand-to-hand attack will do. But you've got your force field up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So he cannot penetrate your force field. So he hits you, but basically the energy goes nowhere because he punches you, and the kind of shield around you kind of lights up, but it easily absorbs the damage. So you're sort of just smiling at him as he's punched you and he's done nothing. So Captain Sonar, you get to act next because your dexterity is the highest. And as you're all 3 in the room now, you can act first. So you've got this chump in front of you. What would you like
this
to
guy doesn't get an open-handed slap, so I just give him a big roundhouse to the face.
Cool. Okay, so are you going to use your
power
fist? Are you using the fist amplifier?
Yeah, my fist
Okay.
amplifier.
So that's a weapon class 4. You've got to get 4 or better, please. Perfect. You hit him. No need to roll for damage because every damage that you're going to do with that attack is going to be enough to take him out. So he is dropped to the floor. Okay, so next up, I think is Hyde, if I remember rightly. Hyde, yeah,
No, I
Hyde,
don't
you're
think so. I
next.
think I'm last.
Oh, yeah, okay, Face Strike, you're next to go then. So what would you like to do?
I'm just going to carry on attacking the guy. I'm going to try to
Cool.
punch him in the face.
Perfect. So you've got weapon class 2 versus, you've got to get a 6 or better to hit him, please.
Okay.
Perfect. You hit him, and again, because he's an NPC and you're a super-powered individual, that's enough. You've hit him, you've done damage, he goes down. Right, so you've cleared the room. They're both slumped on the floor, unconscious. Now, this room is, as I say, it seems to be a communications room, and Holmes has kind of come in now that the fighting is over. You all look around, and you look at the now, Captain Sonar. You look at the what appears to be at first glance is a radio transmitter. However, immediately catches your eye because it is clearly made from technology that is in advance of what is available in the 1890s. So even though it looks superficially to be, it looks superficially to be like an old time radio transmitter, but when you look at it more closely, you can see that it's been made with, futuristic.
Is it made with technology that surpasses our time in the 80s?
You would say not. However, it is clearly in advance of what should be around in the 1890s. As I say, it almost looks like it's been. It doesn't look super futuristic in and of itself, but just by looking in, if you look closely at it, you can see that the components are things that. So there's like there's printed circuits. Yeah, printed
Where's
circuits.
Benji the balloon boy?
Yeah, it's not valves and all of that. It's printed circuits, and again, it just clearly
Did Benji
is.
say that someone else had come back in time?
Yeah, so you know that this alien robot has come from the future, so that could be a potential link. There's also some sort of a cipher machine, and if you look at the northwest corner or the corner of the room, you see what looks to be like a timer, which you suspect is probably what was linked to the dynamite below.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems as if this room could have been used for them to set a timer for the explosives so that the room would...
It's not ticking, is it?
No. They didn't have time to activate. And even if they did, you remember Holmes cut the wires anyway. So
yeah.
What does the cipher machine look like it's doing?
No, the cipher machine's not doing anything, but it's like a code machine. However, if you look, you have a little poke around and you find there is there's like a cabinet next to the cipher machine, and if you can, one of your keys will open that cabinet, and you can see that there are 2 messages which read as follows. So the first says, urgently require armed support, stop. Send experienced men, stop. No time to lost, stop. And then a capital F. And the second says, why no response to first signal, stop. Send experienced men immediately, stop. Require combat troops and agents with knowledge of the supernatural, stop. Extremely urgent, stop. Frankenstein.
Ooh.
And that message is, so it looked like it was waiting to be collected. So in other words, the cipher's obviously received these codes, and it's been put, obviously waiting to be collected and taken away. And
they're recent then.
Yeah, you suspect the first message where it said stop and then it had the letter F is probably Frankenstein again. In other words, it's put his initial. And again, this is a world where you obviously know, you've heard of Frankenstein, and but you're not entirely clear on what the what the reality of that is in this time period. But
let's ask Sherlock. Sherlock, have you heard of Frankenstein? Do you know this chap, this jolly chap that needs some soldiers?
He says, well, I've heard the name. Of course, it's a well respected it's a well-respected name in Eastern Europe. I believe the current Baron is actually in exile from his ancestral home of Transylvania, which is a region in Romania. Obviously, his parent had a sad reputation, as I'm sure you may be aware. There was rumours of unnatural experimentation. I have no reason to believe that the current Baron Frankenstein is involved in such behaviour. However, rumours persist.
Well, what more evidence do you want? He's just sent a message talking about the occult.
Yes, indeed. Well, certainly, it certainly would seem to warrant investigation. I suggest perhaps that we finish our investigations quickly, and then we retreat and discuss our next moves.
We're going to Romania, guys.
So do you want to? So on this floor, don't forget there are 2 other rooms for you to check out. So, like I say, these guards are not going anywhere. They're going to be unconscious for a while. So
couple questions, Steve. The cipher machine, does that help us crack codes?
It may do. So I would suggest it's worth taking it with you. It is portable. I certainly would suggest you take it with you. If nothing else, it may be useful to intercept other messages. And obviously, you can take those 2 printouts with you.
Yep.
Just in the interest of time, I'll just. There's one last thing for you to. So basically, you go and investigate the other 2 rooms on this floor. And what you find is they're actually cells. And in the cells, you find 2 men who are identified as being. But you identify them as being scientists, physicists, in fact. So if you recall, Holmes's investigations have brought him here in search of a missing citizen. Now, these 2 guys are not him.
Yeah.
However, they're being kept drugged, and it appears as if they're being prepared to be possibly sent elsewhere. There's some research that Holmes can do some research, but again, it's probably a reasonable idea for you to gather what you've got and get out of here, because sooner or later, these people who've been injured are going to be waking up.
Yep.
I'm gonna before we leave, if we've taken a cipher machine, I'm gonna smash the radio.
Perfect. Yeah, you give it. You can use your sonic disruptor to pretty much reduce it to rubble without too much trouble.
Yeah, I don't want these guys getting, make them have to send a pigeon or something.
Yeah. And then you make your escape. You basically can retrace your steps, obviously straight out of the building, and you're not like molested by anybody on your way out, because again, those that you've encountered that you've knocked out are still, because again, there's not a lot of time has passed. It's probably been about an hour or so. So you're able to escape into the streets of, or to leave the building and head back into the streets of Vienna. And Holmes suggests that you retire, that you find a hotel, and plan your next move. I think we'll leave it there because we've just gone past 10. So anyone got anything they would like to note or add before we call it a night?
I don't want to drag things out, but I was going to question those messages that
Go
we
for it.
got.
Yeah, please.
Well, firstly, I was wondering if we could tell if they were sent directly to the Illuminati or if they were intercepted messages. Is there any way to tell that?
It looks to you as if they were received by the Illuminati. They were received in that communication. They weren't intercepted.
Yep. Okay.
Because you suspect that they've been sent to the the senior initiate. Now, you haven't seen any. You don't think you've encountered the senior initiate of the Illuminati in Vienna, because everything you've come across seems to be sort of low-level people.
Yeah.
But it seems as if, so it may be that the reason that those messages are still there is that he's not in Vienna at the moment to receive them. So they've been stored away. They've obviously been put away to be kept safe until his return. But yes, they both seem as if they've been received. And what's probably happened is those guys have just received them and they've stored them away. They haven't, relayed them on because obviously secrecy is important, I would assume, in the Illuminati. So they're just waiting for the right person to pick them up. So,
And
which would
there
also
was-
explain why the second message said that there'd be no response, because one would assume that the first message hadn't been seen by the person it was sent to.
Yep. And there was no indication as to where he wanted soldiers to be sent to, was there?
Other than Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Now, Holmes. Okay, so Holmes does as you're kind of let's say that you retreat to the bar of the hotel. You find a hotel, and he has a he starts going through he has a railway timetable and guidebook, which is called the Continental Bradshaw, which is basically used by travellers through Europe. And he spends a bit of time having a poke through the book, and he discovers the location of Schloss Frankenstein, so Castle Frankenstein in Transylvania, which apparently is it's near the Adriatic coast, about 900 kilometers east of where you are, or east of Vienna. So as far as he's aware, this is where Frankenstein is currently, because it's his ancestral home.
Does that relate to any of the pins on the map?
There was
there
a
were
pin on
2
the map
pins
in Romania,
in Romania
so
and
it
the
may very
Adriatic.
well be. It may very well be that is the location of Castle Frankenstein, because it is in
But
Romania.
the map wasn't detailed enough to know where the pin
No,
was.
it was more of a symbolic map than a detailed map.
Understood.
But
Okay.
it seems as if Schloss Frankenstein is where the message was sent from, because that is the home of Frankenstein. So
Okay.
that
Cool.
is where we will assume that he will direct you.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That
Cool.
was it, Steve. That was my question.
Lovely. Perfect. Anyone else got anything else before we wrap it up for the night?
No, that's good.